If you follow Humans of New York, you would think New York City is everything you've imagined, a vibrant melting pot of cultures, people, and ideas. And it is. But schools in the city do not look like this.
New York City has one of the most segregated school systems in the country. And while this division is due to many factors, it has become most severe along socioeconomic class lines.
Children who learn in diverse classrooms grow up to be more prepared to understand the complexity of today's world and more likely to succeed later on in life. Caroline and I have felt lucky to have had this experience, but it is rare in today's society.
And so we spent the last year working with students and educators in schools across the city, ranging from a private school in the West Village to public schools in the Bronx to gentrifying schools in Brooklyn. It was all in an attempt to understand how children build relationships. But what we learned was that whenever kids have the opportunity to do so, they actually form rich, diverse friendships quite easily. So the problem isn't the kids, it's the parents. Sorry. What kept coming up again and again from educators as well as behavioral experts is how even in diverse settings, parents can be a barrier to the growth of their friendships, children's friendships.
In diverse schools, parents from different classes may not even meet. At one Park Slope school, we observed how parents who have flexible hours hang out at the playground after school, while those who can't leave work early put their kids in after-school programs. And even when they do meet, they struggle to form relationships with people who aren't like themselves. For example, one wealthier parent told us about being unsure how to reach out to another mother living in the nearby housing projects. Their kids had become close friends in school, but she felt uneasy about saying the wrong thing or her advances being unwanted. Parents default to behaviors that segregate their children, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And it's the children who suffer as a result. To counteract this, parents need to see the benefits of diversity firsthand.
And this is why we created Common Bond. It's a method for educators to engage parents in protecting diversity, both in and out of the classroom. The power of this method is that it leverages what's most important to parents, their kids, as that common bond. It's important to note that this method is intended for schools and programs that already have or are fighting to maintain a diverse student body. The hope is that by allowing parents to experience the joys and the benefits of diversity, they will become advocates in preserving it.
We initially focused on making these introductions easier and more likely to occur, and building unfamiliar relationships comfortably. We started by prototyping ways for parents from different classes to meet. What we found was that in-person introductions are a major time burden for parents who have very busy schedules, especially at chaotic moments like pickup or drop-off. But what worked instead was something that allowed for more flexible and facilitated introductions. So we designed a digital story share tool where parents swap stories about their children or their experience as a parent. They record and receive answers to the same questions over the course of a week and get to know their partner without the pressure of finding a time to meet a stranger in person. In all of our tests, this story share made parents more curious about meeting and getting to know each other better.
Initially, it was a struggle for us to get into the schools to test Common Bond. But what ultimately got us in the door was when we had a champion educator, someone on the inside who had authority with both kids and parents. So that's why we were excited to meet Justin, who runs a diverse after-school program in Brooklyn and with whom we piloted Common Bond. Based on our learnings from our research, as well as our pilot with Justin, we designed 4 phases of Common Bond that an educator uses to engage parents, build connections between them, and help extend their relationships further. The 4 phases include a co-creation session that builds buy-in and support from the educators and key stakeholders who will use the method, an event that engages parents in the process, the digital story share tool that we mentioned that builds connections between parents, and lastly, a plan to extend parent relationships over time.
In the first phase of Common Bond, the facilitators guide the champion educator and his peers through a process that helps them tailor the method to their context and build buy-in. The goal is for educators to leave the workshop feeling confident taking ownership of the method. In our pilot, we facilitated this co-creation session with Justin and his team and decided together that the event to engage parents in the next phase of Common Bond would be their first family field day. They left feeling excited and ready to get started. The art teacher in Justin's program even got the kids in our class to design flyers promoting the field day and parent story share, and all of the staff built excitement amongst the students before the event. But even so, parents can still fall into their default behaviors in the next phase of Common Bond if they aren't intentionally invited to participate.
For example, when parents arrived at the field day, they sent their kids off to play, and they found spots where they could wait until they were timed to go home. Even though it was marketed as a family field day, they assumed it was aimed at the kids. But just by asking them to wear a name tag, they went from passive to active, joining their kids in painting a mural and running a relay race with other families. Parents need to be given opportunities to be involved so that they can be full, active participants. So in the second phase of Common Bond, the event to engage parents demonstrates that they have a role in this community and provides many opportunities for them to join in. The family event, it challenges parents' expectations and gets them excited about being more involved, as well as ready for the next phase of Common Bond. In fact, all of the parents who participated in Field Day signed up to participate in Parent Story Share.
Building on the interest generated by the event, the third phase of Common Bond connects parents one-on-one using the digital tool we developed in our prototypes. In Parent Story Share, they are paired across class and, when possible, based on their children's existing diverse friendships. This version of the tool is more automated so that the educator can simply create the pairings, input the parent's contact information, and then monitor progress throughout the week. In Parent Story Share, parents can see their shared connections and experiences, despite their different class backgrounds. One participant, Linda, said that she identified with her partner most when she heard how they both struggled to think of a funny story about their kids, because their kids are always bringing them laughter and joy.
The last phase of Common Bond extends relationships by having educators suggest ideas for parents to meet in person, either formally through the child's school or program, or with an informal low-cost playgroup. The invitation to get to know each other further is designed to ease the transition from the digital connections to in-person interactions, as well as cement the relationships that were initiated during the Parent Story Share. In Justin's case, half of the parents who participated met for the very first time during Common Bond activities and set up playdates afterwards.
We've already shared this method with parents and educators in other diverse schools across the city, and all of them asked us when we can do it at their school. The strength of Common Bond is that it can be tailored and adapted to individual programs. Some of the teachers we talked to were interested in doing it as a class project, and others saw how it could be molded to fit their current parent initiatives.
Beyond those we've managed to speak to, we also see this need in the 3 school districts that are in the middle of rezoning efforts to desegregate highly divided schools, and in the 7 New York City schools that are implementing a pilot program to see if controlled admissions can be an effective way to ensure diversity, as well as the many, many other schools in New York that are trying to manage and maintain diversity in rapidly gentrifying neighborhoods. True integration is going to take all of us, not just educators and parents.
If our children aren't experiencing the rich benefits of diversity early on, how will they tackle our more complicated future? Diversity isn't important just for diversity's sake. It is crucial to ensuring positive outcomes for all of our children, rich, poor, Black, white, Native, or foreign-born. So please join us in preparing our children for a more vibrant and diverse future. Thank you.